I don't really, if I had a chance to talk to Katt about anything, I would just ask him what's wrong.
This is like Steve Harvey telling people he used to be homeless.
By the time I was 30, I was homeless. When I was homeless,
That's not his story. Steve Harvey wasn't never homeless. Mark Curry was touring with him 25 years ago. He was making $3,000 a show in cash and doing 5 shows a week.
Hey, well, let me tell you something about Steve, though, man. Certain people, when they, like you say, you're a gatekeeper, certain people get to that place, and the white man's money is more relevant than their scheme.
The internet is completely melting down right now because Marjorie Harvey finally broke her silence. And she did not just respond, she absolutely went scorched earth on Katt Williams. For months, everyone has been asking how long the Harvey family could keep playing nice while Katt systematically ripped apart their polished, red carpet image limb by limb. Well, the waiting game is officially over because a massive unedited audio leak just slipped out of the Harvey estate, and Marjorie's raw, unfiltered reaction is currently tracking to break the entire digital space. If you thought the internet was messy when Katt sat on that club podcast couch and started casually tossing matches onto celebrity careers, you are not ready for what just happened behind closed doors in Atlanta. The polite, relationship-giving, couture-wearing version of Marjorie Harvey that you see on daytime television is officially gone, replaced by a woman who is ready to clear her name by any means necessary. For 24 hours straight, top-tier industry managers and high-powered legal teams have been scrambling to pull these audio clips offline. But you already know the internet never forgets, and it absolutely never sleeps. Are we looking at the absolute end of the multi-million-dollar Harvey family empire? Or is this just another masterclass in Hollywood crisis management meant to distract us from the real truth? You need to lock in right now, turn your notifications all the way up, and get ready, because we are diving headfirst into the most toxic, explosive, and heavily hidden celebrity retaliation story of the decade. The absolute chaos started when a highly encrypted audio file began circulating on an anonymous corner of the internet, allegedly capturing Marjorie Harvey during a private, late-night phone call with her crisis management team. If you listen closely to the muffled background noise, you can hear what sounds like Steve Harvey frantically pacing the floor and muttering about contracts, while Marjorie takes complete control of the conversation like a seasoned corporate boss. The tone of her voice in this leaked recording is worlds away from the elegant, smiling persona she displays while sitting front row at Paris Fashion Week or giving graceful motivational speeches alongside her husband. She sounded incredibly sharp, deeply calculated, and completely furious that Katt Williams had successfully turned the entire public narrative against her family for months without a single piece of pushback. Anonymous insiders are claiming that Marjorie was specifically reacting to a fresh batch of unreleased Katt Williams interview clips that had been quietly shopped around to major media blogs earlier this week. In those hidden clips, Katt allegedly went even deeper into Marjorie's highly controversial past relationships in Memphis, bringing up specific federal court timelines and asset records that the family had spent millions trying to bury. According to these leaked industry reports, the Harvey family legal team tried to slap every major entertainment platform with massive cease and desist orders, but the pressure became too heavy to contain. The internet has been desperately digging into the family history ever since Katt first mentioned Steve on that viral podcast, but this new audio leak completely shifts the dynamic from defense to pure, aggressive offense. Marjorie can reportedly be heard saying that she is tired of watching her daughter Lori Harvey get dragged into internet think pieces about strategic dating and industry grooming, when she is just living her life. The leak suggests that Marjorie has already compiled a massive counter-report filled with industry secrets about Katt Williams' own personal and professional life, which she intends to leak systematically if he does not publicly back down. This is not just a standard celebrity disagreement anymore because Marjorie is allegedly aiming directly at Katt's credibility, claiming that his entire truth-teller persona is a carefully manufactured act designed to hide his own financial troubles. The fallout from this sudden audio leak has sent absolute shockwaves through the Hollywood elite, forcing several high-profile public relations firms to hold emergency meetings to protect their clients. For years, the Harvey brand has been carefully marketed as the ultimate blueprint for a successful blended family, a shining example of moving past struggle to achieve generational wealth and total media dominance. But critics online are pointing out that this polished image has always rested on a very fragile foundation, one that relies on the public completely ignoring the messy timelines of Steve's past marriages. The sudden emergence of Marjorie's raw, behind-the-scenes voice has cracked that mirror completely, revealing an intense corporate machine that operates like a political campaign behind closed doors. Rumors are flying through the digital space that major television networks are already reviewing their multi-million-dollar syndication deals with Steve because of the highly volatile language used in the recording. Social media commentators are already splitting into deep factions, with thousands of users arguing that Marjorie has every right to defend her family after being subjected to relentless character assassination for nearly 2 years. On the other side of the internet, skeptics are pointing out that the sheer panic radiating from the Harvey estate proves that Katt Williams' previous comments hit much closer to home than anyone cared to admit. The drama has intensified to the point where even old associates of Steve from his early stand-up comedy days are starting to emerge from the woodwork, dropping vague hints on their social media pages about what really went down 25 years ago. It seems like every single contract, every old joke ownership dispute, and every private financial settlement from the late 90s is being dragged back out into the light for public scrutiny. What makes this situation incredibly dangerous for the Harvey family brand is that the public is no longer just looking at Steve and Katt's old professional rivalry over joke-stealing allegations. People are now completely hyper-focused on the financial mechanics of how Marjorie and Steve built their massive lifestyle empire right around the exact time they reconnected in 2005. The leaked audio reportedly drops hints about specific shell companies and private trusts that were established during that transition period, leading to intense speculation among online investigators. Independent content creators are already building massive digital whiteboards online, trying to map out the connections between Marjorie's early life in Memphis, her highly publicized marriages to individuals who faced major federal drug investigations, and her sudden rise to the top of the Hollywood social hierarchy. The internet is refusing to let the timeline go, continuously pointing out how bizarre it is that Marjorie managed to completely avoid legal scrutiny during those intense federal investigations in the 90s while her previous partners received massive prison sentences. This new leak has completely weaponized that curiosity, and anonymous industry insiders are suggesting that a major investigative documentary is secretly being produced by a streaming giant to capitalize on the viral madness. The fear of a mainstream media takedown has reportedly turned the Harvey estate into a complete fortress, with staff members being forced to sign updated, highly restrictive non-disclosure agreements just to keep their jobs. But as the digital walls continue to close in on the Harvey empire, Marjorie is reportedly refusing to hide out in silence or let her PR team dictate a standard, boring apology statement. The leaked audio reveals a woman who understands exactly how the media game works, and she seems fully prepared to burn down the entire entertainment landscape if it means protecting her throne. She allegedly stated that if the world wants to look at messy timelines, she is more than willing to expose the private text messages, hotel receipts, and industry favors of every single comedian who has laughed at Katt Williams' jokes over the past few months. This level of intense retaliation is exactly why the online space has completely stopped talking about standard celebrity gossip and is now focusing entirely on this brewing industry war. The narrative is moving at such a terrifying speed that even seasoned media executives are admitting they have never seen a family brand face this much concentrated digital heat without completely collapsing under the pressure. Every single hour, new TikTok videos and YouTube shorts are popping up with deep audio analysis, trying to isolate the voices in the background of the leak to prove exactly who was present in the room when Marjorie made those heavy threats. The tension has officially reached a boiling point because Katt Williams' camp has remained completely silent since the audio file first dropped, which many experts believe is a tactical move before a massive public counterstrike. People who know Katt's history understand that he never lets a direct threat slide, and the fact that he hasn't immediately responded on social media means he is likely compiling his own ammunition for his next major media appearance. The internet is actively holding its breath, waiting for the moment Katt decides to break his silence and address Marjorie's alleged threats directly, because everyone knows it will completely reshape the conversation once again. Meanwhile, high-end fashion brands and luxury partnerships associated with Lori Harvey are reportedly monitoring the situation with extreme caution, terrified that the controversy might spill over and damage her highly lucrative modeling career. Lori has spent years building a pristine, untouchable image as an elite fashion influencer, completely detached from the typical loud drama of daytime television and comedy feuds. But because this new leak places her right at the center of Marjorie's defensive strategy, critics are starting to spam her comment sections with questions about her mother's past and the alleged family playbook. The strategic brilliance of the Harvey family's media management is being tested like never before, and many believe that this specific crisis might be the one that finally breaks their legendary run of public resilience. You can literally feel the desperation in the entertainment industry right now as publicists across Atlanta and Los Angeles try to figure out how to stop the spread of the unedited file before it reaches mainstream news outlets. But the decentralization of modern social media means that once a piece of explosive audio is out in the wild, it gets mirrored across thousands of private servers within a matter of minutes, making it completely impossible to erase. The conversation has now evolved into a broader discussion about how the ultra-wealthy elite handle personal scandals, with many viewers pointing out that the rich and powerful always seem to have a completely different set of rules when it comes to accountability. The public is deeply fascinated by the fact that Marjorie is allegedly using the exact same aggressive tactics that her critics have used against her for years, proving that she is not a victim in this scenario, but a highly formidable player in the Hollywood power game. As the digital debate continues to rage across every major platform, the focus is slowly shifting toward what the Harvey legal team will do next to discredit the source of the leak and regain control of the narrative. There are whispers circulating through industry emails that the family is preparing to file a massive federal lawsuit against an unknown hacker group, claiming the audio was completely fabricated using advanced artificial intelligence voice cloning technology. This potential legal defense has added an entirely new layer of mystery to the situation, leaving fans to wonder whether they are listening to the real, unfiltered raw truth or a highly sophisticated digital trap designed to ruin the family's reputation. No matter what the official statements claim in the coming days, the damage to the public perception of the Harvey household has already been done, and the internet is completely obsessed with watching the next chapter of this corporate thriller unfold. The continuous stream of anonymous tips, resurfaced court documents, and intense social media commentary has created a perfect storm of viral entertainment that shows absolutely no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Every single detail is being scrutinized to the absolute limit, from the specific tone of Marjorie's voice to the frantic background whispers that many believe belong to Steve's top Hollywood business partners. The entire industry is practically standing still, waiting to see who will make the next major move in this high-stakes game of public relations chess, because a single misstep from either side could result in total career destruction. The public fascination with this feud proves that modern audiences are no longer satisfied with polished press releases and carefully curated Instagram captions. They want the raw, unedited, behind-the-scenes reality of the people who dominate their television screens. And as the night rolls on and the views on these leaked clips continue to skyrocket into the tens of millions, the tension behind the closed gates of the Harvey estate is reaching a level that can no longer be hidden from the world. The digital standoff has intensified to a terrifying level because right after those corporate defense theories started circulating, another batch of hidden files leaked onto the internet, completely shattering the artificial intelligence narrative. This second part of the leak allegedly picks up right where the first phone call cut off, showing that the Harvey legal team was not just dealing with a hacker group, but an internal security breach from within their own trusted inner circle. The audio quality in this new segment is chillingly clear, capturing the intense atmosphere of a family realization that their most heavily guarded secrets have been compromised from the inside out. Industry commentators are pointing out that Marjorie's tone shifts completely from strategic anger to deep, calculated corporate warfare as she begins naming specific individuals she suspects of leaking information to Katt Williams' camp. According to these fresh reports, the inner circle of the Harvey estate is currently undergoing a massive, private forensic investigation with everyone from longtime personal assistants to high-level financial managers being subjected to intense non-disclosure audits. The internet is having an absolute field day with this development, because it proves that the polished facade of total family loyalty was nothing more than a carefully managed illusion built to keep the public at bay. Online investigators are noting that during this part of the recording, Marjorie can be heard explicitly discussing the financial records of Steve's early production companies, dating all the way back to the mid-2000s when his mainstream media empire was first taking off. This has reignited the massive online debate regarding how much of Steve's initial success was built on the backs of smaller, independent creators who were allegedly left behind in the race for Hollywood dominance. What is really sending shockwaves through the digital space is how Marjorie allegedly details the family's hidden network of media influence, openly discussing how they have historically used specific blog connections to bury negative stories about Lori Harvey's high-profile dating life. For years, skeptics have argued that the pristine media coverage surrounding Lori's public relationships looked incredibly manufactured, but this leak provides what critics are calling definitive proof of a highly sophisticated public relations machine. The audio reportedly reveals that whenever a controversial story about the family was about to break in the past, a calculated distraction or a highly synchronized positive headline was fed to the mainstream entertainment pages within hours. This revelation has caused a massive wave of backlash against several major celebrity news outlets, with viewers accusing them of being completely complicit in protecting the Harvey family brand while suppressing the actual truth. The fallout is starting to impact the family's business ventures in a very real way, as independent sponsors and corporate partners are reportedly pulling back from active campaigns to avoid being dragged into the brewing storm. Rumors are circulating that a prominent global fashion house that was in the middle of closing a multi-million-dollar multi-year deal with Lori Harvey has suddenly placed the contracts on an indefinite hold pending a full internal review of the leaked audio files. This is exactly what the Harvey team was terrified of, because their entire economic framework relies on maintaining an untouchable, premium luxury image that appeals to high-end corporate sponsors. If the public continues to associate the family brand with intense backroom legal threats, federal court timelines, and aggressive industry retaliation, that luxury appeal could vanish almost overnight. Meanwhile, social media creators are dissecting the exact timestamps mentioned in the leaked audio, attempting to cross-reference Marjorie's statements with actual historical events from Steve's highly publicized career transitions. Online detectives have pointed out a specific segment in the recording where Marjorie mentions an undisclosed financial settlement from 2007, which happens to be the exact same year she and Steve officially tied the knot after his messy divorce from Mary Shackelford. This has led to intense speculation that there are hidden legal documents floating around the internet that could completely contradict the official, wholesome narrative that Steve has promoted in his best-selling relationship books and television shows. The internet is refusing to let this detail slide, with thousands of users demanding that the family release their full financial and legal histories to clear up the growing mountain of contradictions. The silence from Katt Williams' side is only making the public obsession grow deeper, with many branding his quiet approach as a psychological tactical masterpiece that is driving the Harvey estate into absolute panic. Comedians within the industry are quietly whispering that Katt doesn't even need to release a statement, because the Harvey family is effectively destroying their own public reputation through their frantic, behind-the-scenes damage control efforts. Every time a new cease and desist order is issued or a video gets struck down for copyright violations, the internet views it as a direct admission of guilt, causing the mirrored clips to spread even faster across alternative platforms. It has become a textbook example of the Streisand effect, where the aggressive attempt to hide a piece of information only makes the entire world desperate to see it. As the second hour of the leak continues to trend globally, the focus is shifting towards Steve Harvey's standing within the mainstream television landscape, with major network executives reportedly holding private emergency meetings behind closed doors. Inside sources claim that several television producers are deeply concerned about the highly aggressive language used in the recordings, which stands in direct contrast to Steve's family-friendly daytime television persona. There are growing fears within the industry that if this controversy continues to escalate at this current speed, it could trigger a massive viewer boycott that could severely damage the ratings of his long-running game shows and syndication blocks. The financial stakes are incredibly high, involving hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising revenue, which explains why the Hollywood elite are watching this specific feud with absolute terror. The digital community is also heavily analyzing Marjorie's specific remarks about Katt Williams' own financial past, where she allegedly claims that his entire crusade for industry truth is just a desperate bid to remain relevant in a changing media landscape. Critics are pointing out that this argument feels incredibly weak, considering that Katt's recent interviews have broken all-time internet viewership records without him spending a single dollar on traditional marketing or public relations firms. The public is overwhelmingly siding with Katt's raw, unedited authenticity, noting that he is willing to sit on a simple couch and say his piece, while the Harvey family appears to be hiding behind a massive army of high-priced lawyers and crisis managers. This disparity in public perception is making it almost impossible for the Harvey team to regain the trust of the standard internet viewer, no matter how polished their next official statement might look. The drama has reached a point where even prominent podcast hosts and independent cultural commentators are receiving mysterious, anonymous emails warning them to stop covering the leaked audio files or face potential legal action. Instead of intimidating the creator community, these heavy-handed tactics have completely backfired, inspiring hundreds of independent journalists to double down on their investigations into the family's historical business dealings. The digital space has effectively turned into an absolute battleground of information, with new breakdowns, timeline charts, and audio isolation videos being uploaded to video platforms every single minute. Viewers are completely hooked on the narrative because it plays out like a high-stakes corporate crime drama, happening in real time right before their eyes. What makes this chapter of the scandal even more fascinating is the deep dive into the historical relationship dynamics between Marjorie and her past associates from Memphis, which she reportedly references during a tense moment in the leaked audio. She can allegedly be heard telling her legal team that certain individuals from her past are using this Katt Williams situation as an opportunity to extort the family for financial favors in exchange for their silence. This specific statement has opened up an entirely new avenue of public curiosity, with internet sleuths actively searching through old public records and court databases to identify exactly who these mysterious individuals from the 90s might be. The deeper the internet digs, the more complicated and chaotic the entire timeline becomes, making it completely impossible for anyone to distinguish between confirmed facts and viral internet speculation. The pressure inside the Harvey estate is reportedly causing massive internal rifts, with rumors suggesting that Steve and Marjorie are deeply divided on how to handle the ongoing public relations catastrophe moving forward. Insiders claim that Steve wants to address the situation directly on his massive media platforms, utilizing his signature humor and down-to-earth storytelling style to win back the hearts of his traditional, older demographic. However, Marjorie is reportedly insisting on a completely silent, scorched-earth legal approach, preferring to use their massive wealth to quietly dismantle the platforms that are allowing the leaked files to circulate in the first place. This alleged tactical disagreement has left the family brand in a state of complete paralysis, which explains why the public has only seen standard, pre-scheduled promotional posts on their official social media channels over the past 48 hours. The broader implications of this leak are starting to redefine how modern audiences view celebrity culture as a whole, with many pointing out that the age of the untouchable Hollywood star is officially dead and buried. The fact that a family as powerful and well-connected as the Harveys can have their private, backroom conversations completely exposed to the entire world within hours proves that no one is safe in the digital era. Modern viewers are no longer willing to accept the heavily filtered, clean narratives that are pushed out by traditional media companies, demanding total transparency and raw honesty from the figures they support. This shift in audience expectations is exactly why Katt Williams' unfiltered commentary resonated so deeply with the public, while the Harvey family's highly polished corporate machinery is facing unprecedented resistance. As the digital clock ticks away and the views on these controversial breakdowns continue to climb toward historic heights, the entire entertainment industry is bracing for what comes next as the second part of the audio leak sets up an even more explosive conclusion. The sheer volume of information being dropped in these unverified recordings has created a massive snowball effect, pulling in older scandals, forgotten rivalries, and complex financial networks that many assumed were buried forever. The internet is completely locked in, refusing to look away for even a single second, because everyone knows that the final segment of this leaked audio is rumored to contain the most damaging revelations yet. The tension has officially reached a point of no return, and as the digital walls continue to crumble around the Harvey media empire, the world is waiting with bated breath to see how this high-stakes industry war will finally end. The absolute climax of this entire digital war kicked into overdrive when the third and final segment of the highly classified audio file leaked onto the internet, entirely bypassing every single firewall and digital block the Harvey legal team had desperately thrown up. This concluding portion of the recording allegedly captures the exact moment where the corporate strategists and high-powered lawyers admit to Marjorie that their traditional media suppression methods have completely and utterly failed. The atmosphere in the audio sounds incredibly tense, heavy with panic, and completely chaotic as the realization settles in that the public is no longer buying into their polished narratives. Industry experts are pointing out that this specific part of the leak contains the most dangerous information yet, because Marjorie reportedly begins discussing the specific financial strategies used to protect their multi-million-dollar media contracts during times of public crisis. According to these newly surfaced reports, the Harvey family was allegedly preparing a massive, behind-the-scenes financial restructuring plan to shield their primary production companies from potential sponsor dropouts and network cancellations. The internet is losing its mind over these audio clips because they reportedly show a level of corporate calculation that the standard daytime television viewer would never expect from a family-centric brand. Online commentators are noting that during this section of the call, Marjorie can be heard explicitly stating that if major networks attempt to break their long-term syndication agreements over this Katt Williams drama, the family is fully prepared to launch an independent digital streaming platform of their own. This has triggered an intense wave of speculation across social media, with fans wondering if the Harvey empire is preparing to completely detach itself from traditional Hollywood networks to maintain total control over their public image. What has truly sent the digital space into an absolute frenzy is how the leaked audio details the inner workings of celebrity non-disclosure agreements, revealing the extreme legal lengths used to keep former employees completely silent. For years, critics have quietly whispered that the Harvey estate operated under an intense culture of secrecy, but this final leak provides what online investigators are calling an unprecedented look behind the curtain of modern Hollywood power dynamics. The recording reportedly reveals that anyone working within a 5-mile radius of the family brand is subject to multi-million-dollar penalties if they mention even the slightest detail about the family's private life or business discussions. This revelation has caused a massive wave of public backlash across online forums, with users accusing the family of using their immense wealth to completely bully independent workers into absolute submission while pretending to be champions of the working class. The financial fallout is now escalating to a level that can no longer be hidden by clever public relations statements or distraction tactics, as several international distribution partners are reportedly demanding immediate clarification regarding the leaked audio. Rumors are flying through the entertainment industry that a massive European media conglomerate, which holds the exclusive broadcasting rights for Steve's shows across multiple territories, has officially paused their upcoming contract renewal negotiations. This is the ultimate nightmare scenario for the Harvey enterprise because their global distribution network is the literal lifeblood of their generational wealth framework. If international networks begin to view the family brand as too toxic or legally volatile for mainstream audiences, the economic foundation of their entire media empire could face a catastrophic decline within a matter of months. Meanwhile, social media investigators are meticulously breaking down the exact voice frequencies in the background of the leaked recording, claiming to have identified the voices of several other high-profile Hollywood executives who were secretly participating in the emergency call. Online detectives are arguing that these executives belong to a major talent agency that has spent decades managing some of the biggest names in the entertainment business, suggesting that the entire industry is secretly working to protect the Harveys from total ruin. The internet is completely refusing to let this connection drop, with thousands of independent creators producing detailed video essays that expose the complex web of corporate allegiances that keep the Hollywood elite untouchable. This has transformed the entire situation from a simple personal feud between two famous comedians into a massive public trial concerning the systemic corruption of the modern entertainment industry. The total lack of a formal public response from Katt Williams continues to act as a psychological sledgehammer against the Harvey legal defense team, driving the entire estate into a state of continuous operational paralysis. Comedians and industry insiders are openly laughing at the situation on private message boards, noting that Katt has effectively achieved total victory without ever needing to step inside a courtroom or film a counterattack video. The public's overwhelming alignment with Katt's raw, unfiltered truth-teller brand has made it completely impossible for the Harvey crisis management team to launch a successful counter-narrative that sounds even remotely authentic to the average internet user. Every single pre-recorded television episode or motivational clip the family posts on their official pages is immediately flooded with millions of comments regarding the audio leak, completely drowning out their intended marketing messages. as the third hour of this controversial leak continues to dominate global trending charts. The focus is shifting toward the potential legal ramifications of the internal security breach that allowed these files to escape in the first place. Inside sources claim that the Harvey legal team has officially contacted federal cybersecurity specialists to track down the exact digital signature of the individual who uploaded the encrypted files to the internet. There are growing whispers within the tech community that the leak did not come from an external hacker group or a disgruntled low-level assistant, but rather from a high-level corporate partner who had complete access to the family's private communication servers. This twist has added an entirely new layer of corporate betrayal to the narrative, leaving fans to wonder if the people closest to the Harvey throne are actively working to dismantle the empire from the inside out. The digital community is also heavily criticizing Marjorie's reported comments regarding the standard internet viewer, where she allegedly characterizes the online backlash as nothing more than temporary noise generated by jealous individuals who lack real-world power. Critics are pointing out that this dismissive attitude displays a complete lack of awareness regarding how modern media brands are built and sustained by the very public she is allegedly insulting. The public is weaponizing this specific segment of the leak, using it to launch massive online campaigns urging consumers to completely boycott all products, clothing lines, and media projects associated with the Harvey family name. This consumer pushback is creating massive panic among the family's remaining corporate sponsors, who are absolutely terrified of facing a long-term public relations boycott by association. The drama has reached such an intense level of public fascination that even traditional mainstream news networks are beginning to quietly cover the digital fallout, completely legitimizing a story that started as an anonymous internet rumor. Instead of calming the waters, this mainstream coverage has completely amplified the scandal, introducing millions of older, traditional television viewers to the messy history and complex timelines that the internet has been discussing for years. The digital space has effectively won the war of information, forcing the entire world to look at the massive contradictions between the Harvey family's public morality brand and their raw, behind-the-scenes corporate defense strategies. Viewers are completely captivated by the real-time collapse of one of the most powerful public relations facades in modern entertainment history. What makes this final section of the scandal so incredibly historic is the deep psychological breakdown of the family's public image strategy, which Marjorie reportedly outlines during a moment of absolute frustration on the call. She can allegedly be heard telling her team that their biggest mistake was allowing the public to believe that they were completely untouchable, rather than humanizing their struggles from the very beginning of the controversy. This reported admission has opened up a fascinating conversation among media critics regarding the ultimate fragility of heavily managed celebrity brands in the era of decentralized social media platforms. The deeper the public analyzes the mechanics of this crisis, the more obvious it becomes that traditional Hollywood public relations playbooks are completely useless against a viral wave of authentic audience curiosity. The pressure within the Harvey estate has reportedly reached an all-time high, with close associates claiming that the internal communication between family members has completely broken down as they prepare for the ultimate public fallout. Insiders suggest that the family is currently divided into multiple factions, with everyone looking to protect their individual brands and future career prospects from being permanently ruined by the ongoing digital storm. This internal panic is exactly why the public is witnessing a complete standstill from the family's media machine, as they realize that any statement they make will be instantly torn apart and analyzed for lies by millions of online detectives. The Harvey media empire is officially facing its greatest existential threat, and the entire world is watching the digital clock run out on their legendary reign of public relations dominance. The broader implications of this massive celebrity war are completely reshaping the future of the digital entertainment industry, proving that authenticity is the only currency that truly matters to modern audiences. The fact that a media entity as massive, wealthy, and legally protected as the Harvey family can be completely destabilized by a series of unedited audio leaks proves that the old Hollywood power structure has completely lost its grip on public perception. Modern viewers are demanding an absolute end to the era of heavily manufactured celebrity perfection, preferring to support figures who are willing to speak their truth rawly and face the consequences out in the open. As the final seconds of these leaked audio breakdowns continue to accumulate hundreds of millions of views across the globe, The entertainment industry is officially entering a brave new world where the truth can no longer be hidden behind wealth, power, or legal intimidation. This entire situation has officially reached a point of no return, and the digital walls are completely closing in on the Harvey empire. We have watched a multi-million-dollar public relations facade crumble in real time, leaving the entire entertainment industry in a state of absolute shock. Now, the ultimate question lands directly with you, the people who actually control the fate of these Hollywood giants. Do you believe Marjorie's leaked corporate defense strategy can actually save their polished media empire? Or is this the definitive end of their legendary run? Is Katt Williams officially the ultimate truth teller of our generation? Or is there an even deeper layer to this industry war that we haven't seen yet? You need to drop your absolute rawest thoughts and wildest theories down in the comments section below right now, because this conversation is moving faster than anyone ever expected. If you want to stay completely locked into this explosive, unfolding scandal without missing a single hidden detail, make sure you smash that like button immediately. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and turn your post notifications all the way up, because more leaked files are dropping by the hour, and you definitely do not want to be left in the dark when the next massive truth officially breaks online.